So hello BS Ed Math 22 students, how are you? I hope you are doing well. So are you ready for our topic for today? So whether you are ready or not, we will discuss the Module 7 about the environment and the development discourses. But before that, let me introduce to you my co-reporters, Miss Windelin Kalolot and Giselle Torrejas. But before we will tackle our topic for today, let me introduce to you our learning outcomes. So first, identify what is environmental discourse and development discourse. Second, present real-world solutions for environmental challenges. And lastly, create a collage that will show the significance of knowing the relationship between environmental discourse and sustainable development.
Discourse refers to a shared way for people to understand the world around them. This is done through how we interpret the world around us little by little and paste them all together to make a big story. Environmental discourse. It occurs as there is a social aspect with regards to environmental issues. According to Dryzek 1997, it is the way we construct, interpret, discuss, and analyze environmental problems. Development discourse. According to Escobar 1995 and Crash 1996, it refers to the process of articulating knowledge and power through which concepts, theories, and practices for social change are created and reproduced. So these are the 3 development theories. First, economic growth and modernization theories. These are the theories which is concerned with how to enhance growth and accumulation, efficient production and allocation, political stability and order, and entrepreneurial culture and personality. These theories suggest that traditional societies will develop as they adopt more modern practices. Example of which is the improvements in human well-being in areas such as health, education, safety, cities, work, standard of living, and leisure. Next theory is the radical development theories. This theory tends to deal with various modes of production, production relations, and class structures. The last theory is the world systems theory. It is a view of the world in which countries are placed into different economic classes to explain their economic relationships with one another. Or in other words, it is the unequal exchange between center and periphery in sharing resources and decline of biodiversity. These theories suggest that wealthy countries benefit from other countries and exploit those countries' citizens. It can be useful in understanding world history and the core country's motives for imperialization and other involvements. However, this approach is somewhat abstract and vague.
So we are now in the major forms of environmental challenges to development. So the following are the major environmental disorders and concerns that represent serious challenges to a sustainable mode of human development. First is the global warming. So we all know that global warming is also one of the problems in our world right now. So it is a challenge to sustainability because it may lead to a thermal expansion of Earth's surface waters and rapid melting of alpine and the polar glaciers and ice caps, which may cause the sea level rise, land loss, and saltwater intrusion, and thus it can lead to the destruction of beaches, homes, coastal towns, ports, and croplands in the different part of our world. Next is the deforestation. So it is also threatens the sustainable mode of development in a way that it is does not only contributed to the aforementioned global warming by increasing carbon dioxide emission and reducing the Earth's carbon absorbing capacity. It has also caused soil erosion and land desertification. Deforestation is mostly happen in sa mga bukid na. So sa mga taga-bukid, usually kanang inyuhang ma-observe that ang panginganabuhian sa mga tao dito is kanang pag-uuling, which is mamutol sila og kahoy para lang iuling, and that is why deforestation is mostly happen sa mga bukid na. So next is the harmful chemicals. The huge amount of harmful chemicals are emitted into the air that are directly detrimental to human health and thus to sustainability. In addition, the disposal of chemical waste pollutes water through wells, ponds, and landfills and thus poses a serious threat to human health. So as an experience, so every time nga makalabay tag kanal, especially sa mga cities bitaw nga lain kaayo baho ng ilang kanal dito. So kanang that is can possess to the serious threat of the human health. So next is the depletion of the Earth ozone layer. So this is caused by the emission of chlorine and bromine. So this is depletion of the ozone layer means that the Earth will receive much higher intensity of sun's ultraviolet radiation. So as what we have observed right now, kanang init na bitaw kaayo, that is the effect of the depletion of the ozone layer. Kanang imbis kung sa una is kanang ang kainit sa sun is igo ra siya mo banda din mo gawas na dayon sa ozone layer, but karon na nipis ang atong ozone layer, dili na ang kainit sa sun is dili na siya makagawas. That is why kanang kita ang naapektuhan, kita ra sad ang naapektuhan sa atong mga kaugalingong binuhatan. And lastly, the depletion of non-renewable natural resources. So it is one of the most important resource under threat of the world's cultivated land, which is being diminished due to the causes of such as global warming, sea level rise, soil erosion, desertification, and desalinization.
Now let's go on to the solutions of the said environmental challenges. First, let's talk about the solutions to global warming. First, we must use renewable energies. Let us move away the fossil fuels. This is the first way to prevent climate change. What are the alternatives? Like renewable energy such as solar, wind, biomass, and geothermal. Next is energy and water efficiency. Producing clean energy is essential, but reducing our consumption of energy and water is less costly and equally important, like by using more efficient devices such as LED light bulbs and innovative shower systems. Next is sustainable transportation. Promoting public transportation, carpooling, but also electric and hydrogen mobility can help reduce carbon dioxide emissions and thus fight global warming. Next is sustainable infrastructure. It is necessary both to build new low-energy buildings and to renovate the existing constructions to reduce the carbon dioxide emissions from buildings caused by heating, air conditioning, hot water, or lighting. Next is sustainable agriculture. Let us encourage everyone to have better use of natural resources, stopping massive deforestation, as well as agriculture greener and more efficient should also be a priority. Next is responsible consumption and recycling. Adopting responsible consumption habits is crucial, be it regarding food particularly in meat, clothing, cosmetics, or cleaning products. Finally, recycling is an absolute necessity for dealing with waste. Now let's go on to the solution to deforestation. So first, let us have the law and regulations. The best solution to deforestation is to curb the felling of trees by enforcing a series of rules and laws to govern it. Deforestation in the current scenario may have reduced, however, it would be too early to assume. Next is reforestation. We are all familiar with this solution. The cutting must be replaced by planting young trees to replace the older ones that were cut. Next is sensitization and educative campaign. Still, many are entirely unaware of the global warming problem we are facing. We can make an impact through educating your friends, family, and community by sharing the deforestation facts and the causes and effects. Next one is reduce consumption of paper. Your daily consumption of paper including printing, paper, notebooks, napkins, toilet paper, and etc. Try to reduce consumption, reduce waste of paper, and opt for recycled paper products. Now let's go on to the solution for depletion of ozone layer. So the first one, we must avoid using ODS or reduce the use of ozone depleting substances. Like avoid the use of CFCs in refrigerators and air conditioners, replacing the halon-based fire extinguishers, and etc. Next is minimize the use of vehicles. We all know that vehicles emit a large amount of greenhouse gases that lead to global warming as well as ozone depletion. Therefore, the use of vehicles should be minimized as much as possible. Next is use eco-friendly cleaning products. Most of the cleaning products have chlorine and bromine, releasing chemicals that find a way into the atmosphere and affect the ozone layer. This should be substituted with natural products to protect the environment. Next is use of nitrous oxide should be prohibited. The government should take actions and prohibit the use of harmful nitrous oxide that is adversely affecting the ozone layer. People should be made aware of the harmful effects of nitrous oxide and the products emitting the gas so that its use is minimized at the individual level as well. Now let's go on to the solution to non-renewable resources depletion. First, we must use more renewable energy. Resources like wind and sunlight, however, can also be used to generate electricity, but these resources are renewable. That means once they are used, they become available again quickly. While using fossil fuels to generate electricity burns up finite resources, using renewables does not. Renewable energy also doesn't release greenhouse gases, which are causing climate change. Next is promotion of sustainable fishing rules. Reduced fish populations can alter entire ecosystems and hurt coastal economies that depend on fishing. Introducing new laws and ensuring existing ones stay in place that protect at-risk fish populations and ecosystems is crucial to prevent these problems. The next one is avoid single-use plastics. Reducing our plastics use helps us to avoid the use of the resources needed to make plastic and prevents plastic waste from harming the natural environment. Substituting single-use plastics like plastic grocery bags, utensils, and straws with durable items can help, like known today the eco bag. Next is recycle more and improve recycling systems. Improving our recycling systems can also help. Researchers can find new, more efficient ways to recycle, local governments can make recycling easier, and businesses can implement recycling programs for their employees. The next one is reduce food waste. Approximately a third of the food produced for human consumption every year gets wasted or lost. Because of all the resources required to grow, transport, and prepare the food, this is a huge waste. Keeping track of the food you have, planning meals and shopping trips ahead of time, and properly storing food can help reduce food waste at home. The last one is planting of trees and going paperless. As I've said earlier, let us reduce consumption of paper and plant more trees instead. And now for your activity, answer the question on a 1/2 crosswise sheet of paper and list at least 5 practices that you can observe in your community that may harm our environment and provide its solution. So before we end our discussion, let me read you a quote by Dalai Lama. It is our collective and individual responsibility to preserve and tend to the world in which we all live. So that would be all, and thank you for listening.